Thank you for joining the Unseen Thread. My name is Jen. And today's book is Kindergarten Chats and Other Writings by Lewis H. Sullivan. And this book is not so much about kindergarten as it is about teaching the metaphysical and enlightenment. I found that at the thrift store, and it just kind of spoke to me. I'm also getting the message about being open to messages from your guides and focusing on how you are best to receive them or ways you prefer to receive them. And for me, I find many messages in books. That's one of my favorite ways to receive messages from Spirit. Very synchronistic for me. Okay, let's get started with today's message. We have justice. Page of Dis. First day with your new feet. And Six of Dis. See, these two are both looking at the Page of Dis there. It's a small message, maybe could be overlooked easily. I'm hearing feather in the sword. That makes sense for anybody? Six of Dis, equal exchange, getting what you deserve, having the day you deserve. This is like a blend of all elements here too. Get one of these cards for these three. The Queen. Unrealized potential. You have the Justice and the Six of Dis are both very balanced energies. The Six of Dis is receiving what you give, and the Justice is deserving what you get. And you have the Page of Dis under the Queen here, and it's like unrealized potential, or how you've lived your life thus far. Maybe you didn't feel like you've gotten compensated. And I don't mean like in a monetary way. Just maybe the energy you've put out hasn't come in. And for the Queen, I'm going to read the book on that. And then you do have that Three of Swords there, kind of like the unrealized potential. It could be unrequited love even getting. Unrequited love. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. Okay, let's see what the Queen brings here. The Empress, the Mother Queen, and the Sovereign. The Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous mood, casting a shadow across the land. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom. And that's what I mean here about like something not quite bloomed yet, unrealized potential. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the Queen is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal Queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. So, it says the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, and stillness. And it's bringing up Cleopatra and Nana, Tara, and Hera. Okay, let's get into this unresolved potential here, or the lotus that's yet to bloom. What would this be looking like here? The Hierophant. I'm getting symbolic studies, symbolism, occult studies, finding interesting things in books. very much has that energy today. We have the Death cards. And this is one of my favorite death cards here. And a lot of my artwork that I do, it kind of resembles this. It's very much like a decay and growth. If you think of like when you make your own compost for soil, you're causing things to decompose, but then it also later on is bringing life. So there's definitely a death and rebirth energy here, but the death you're having metaphorically, or maybe that you've experienced somebody's death in your life, which I have very recently. But what is that refreshing in your life? What is that going to add richness and value into your life going forward? And then we have the Queen of Discs. And you can see she's crying diamonds with her tears. It's very much like using the struggles that you've had to create and to make something of. And we have to experience struggles to help other people through similar struggles. You know, you can tell somebody, you know, if they've lost someone, you can say, oh, I know how you feel. But that comes across very superficial if you don't know, if you've never had that same loss. So this is experiencing hardships or struggles and learning how to navigate through those to carry on to help others who are experiencing those same struggles. So it's kind of the gold in it. Finding the gold in struggles. We have the Five of Discs here. And then we do have that Ten of Swords as well. So it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back, an ending, a finality to something. And we're going to read on the Five of Discs here. So this is speaking of inner peace, sanctuary, home, be balanced inside to deal with the chaos outside, perfected process, equality of all people, strength, power, heart, and wisdom from inside, and knowing all the answers can be found inside yourself. And what were you looking for with being born? Searching, questing is for knowledge, knowledge of the self, knowledge of purpose, and hereafter going down into the deepest pits of hell. And this is what I'm saying about being in that struggle or in grief. So it says about being down into the deepest pits of hell, you know that heaven is not in the sky, but in the breast. Eternity is not somewhere else, but now in the present moment. It's like carrying heaven in your heart. Maybe knowing very much you're spiritual. You are a spiritual being in a flesh suit, basically. And it's like he's got green and roots and fresh life, and this is the decomposing. So it's like the regrowth process. Taking what's learned within you, remembering it. Holding that wisdom that was collected during a hard time. It's like every struggle we go through, as you move through it and learn through it, it kind of creates a map, and you can kind of use that map to help guide others going through the same process. Okay, let's get a closing message here. Diamond in the rough. Finding the diamond in the rough. The going gets tough, the tough gets going. We have the Eight of Discs, very much it's a creation card. Using your hands, your mind, all of the tools. Blending two things to make one. When this little lamb here would not exist if it wasn't for these two. The sacrificial lamb. Three of Wands. This is what was expected. This was the plan. And I'm kind of getting the energy of planning our life before we're here, planning our struggles and hardships before we're even incarnated on this earth in this lifetime. Knowing that as things unfold in your life, that was the plan, to not be in a victim mentality. How is it happening for you type of thing. Then we have that Queen of Cups. So we have three queens here. And this is very much standing on business. Just very much a go with the flow. Truly know that as things happen, they are happening for you. What are we taking from this experience? And you can see here, she's got that lotus and it's fully bloomed here. So this is a process of experiences, learning through them, understanding why they're happening. Maybe not always understand why, but knowing that there's a greater purpose in it. And then you have the star here at the bottom of the deck. So this is the healer. This is the healing energy. And you can see it looks like she's got a crowd of people underneath her and she's kind of being risen. And she's also got the wounds of Jesus on her hands. And it's like what you experienced, it wasn't for naught. I'm also getting the witch wound, healing a witch wound, which a lot of us spiritual people know exactly what that's alluding to. You know, people will think you're crazy sometimes for your gifts. And, yeah, they can really say some awful things and do awful things. And luckily we're not, back in the day where we'd be hung or burned. But so there's a lot of that energy here. Feminine knowing, whether you're man or woman. And this Three of Wands here. Well, let's read this because we have a little bit of a progression here. So let's see what the Three of Wands says. So this is that unrealized potential, and this is a knowing of something's coming, okay? And this is the Marielle Tarot deck. This is my absolute favorite deck. I've been using this for many years now. So this is conception, creation of a new life from union, fertilization, expansive growth and energy, and middle path, stay to center. And then it says, the Three Wands calls down the creative gaze and grace of God. It is the third pillar in the Kabbalistic tree of life, the pillar of mildness, which reconciles the pillars of mercy and severity. It is the Kundalini, the serpents that coil at the base of the spine, sex and knowledge between the two trees, two people, two aspects of self, or heavens and earth. As in the six-pointed star, the merging of male and female sets the Kundalini in motion, pushing up through the spine, creating the third pillar through which the lightning of God can blast down and through which our consciousness can travel up. So it also says it's an intent and desire or lust for knowledge and enlightenment. From here, mankind looks up and reaches for the heavens, reaches for the answers to the great mysteries of good and evil and life and death. So this is like I said, stay in the middle path on something, kind of understanding things are happening for you. as they should, as was planned, not being in a victim mentality, not being in a harsh, revengeful mentality. And I think that's about it. The sustainer. Stay the course. Don't give up the ship, I'm hearing. And this is kind of interesting how these, you have the Hierophant here and the sustainer, and their hands are doing similar things here. Sustenance. And see, what are we creating? I don't remember if it was a song lyric or a poem. It says, I think it was a song, and if it comes to me, I'll tell you. But in it, she says, touching everything I can before this ends. Like basically putting your touch and, like I'm picturing putting your hand in soil and things sprouting up, giving life, creating things in a spiritual manner, leading to an expanded consciousness. Sometimes you can offer a view to somebody that will expand their consciousness, and just doing that as much as you can before you're done in this lifetime. And a lot of times things we could do, and I'm getting chills here now, so spirits in connection with me, a lot of times the things we do we think aren't making impact, but you can impact one person, and that one person can go forth and impact many more people. And it can spread just as easily that way. You don't have to be, and there was a video I seen where somebody said one like is enough. And that's true. You don't have to, be in front of the masses. If, let's just say, you meet somebody and maybe they're a very angry person, and you talk with them or you give them a perspective and it completely changes their outlook on life. You don't know that that one person could have gone and hurt many people, but because you came across their path and you changed their perspective or you gave them hope, not only did you save that person, but you also saved anybody that they would have hurt. And I'm getting that message very much. So, and that brings me to kindergarten chats. And I'm just going to open up to a page here. Let's find something kind of relevant. And right here I'm getting the awakening. Well, here I am, come back like a bad penny, and a pretty brown penny at that, don't you think? I made the acquaintance of some interesting lads up yonder, farmer boys all of them, and we had a great sport together. They put me on to ever so many things new to me, and as I kept my eyes and ears open, I have come back with so many new impressions. See, and that's what I mean about you come across somebody, and this person's talking about they kept their eyes and ears open, and they have come back with so many new impressions. And I think that's speaking to what you do for people, or what you can do for people, how you're allowing spirit into your life to work through you in any way that comes to you. Like I said, I prefer books, just like that. But of course, we're all different, and we all listen and see in different ways. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us.